5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I have a very exciting guest. My father. This is probably the best day of his life. He's been asking me to do a video with him for forever. How are you feeling? Are you excited to be here?
Well, I'm going to apologize in advance. I think this is my first time appearing on any kind of YouTube video.
Any video ever.
I don't have much of a fan base, but I'm going to do my best.
Okay. Alright, well, we are going to get into the questions. I asked you guys on Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat just to send over some questions. I got some personal ones, some funny ones, and then also a lot Laker related. So we are just going to try to answer as many as we can, and let's just get right into it.
I'm a little nervous, but let's get started.
Yeah, you should be a little nervous. I was looking at some of the questions. I was like, oh no. Are you nervous?
No, I'm fine.
Okay, this is a specific question aimed at you, and he said, I think a lot of people want to know this. This was a pretty commonly asked question, and he said,
I'm pretty scared.
No, this is like a good one. This is a good one. I'm not going to do the crazy ones.
Okay.
Yeah. This one is, did he grow up a Laker fan, and was it like a family tradition, and did you impart that fandom to your daughter, Purple and Gold Forever? And this is from Ken, I think it's Forte, so Ken Forte. Take it away.
Actually, I did grow up a Laker fan. When I was a young boy, my dad used to take me to see the Lakers when Elgin Baylor and Jerry West were there. And by the way, if you never saw Elgin Baylor play, I can assure you, you missed something because he was quite something.
That's one of the questions.
Yeah, so in any event, so yes, I was. And then Hannah has an older sister, two older sisters. One of them was a pretty big Laker fan as well. So in the Shaq Kobe days, we used to watch. And then Hannah became a passionate fan, and she and I share that in common. We have a lot of fun with it.
You were blessed with 4 daughters.
Yeah, the thing is though, she's made me a lot more obsessed about it. I was a big fan before, but now it's like, you know, it's a big part of our lives.
We can't do anything if it's during a Laker game. Like dinner plans, birthday celebrations, forget about it. We have to be home by 7.
That is true.
Okay, the next question. Okay, this kind of, I already know the answer to this. It's, who's your dad's all-time favorite Laker? I know this one.
Well, again, there's a lot of great Lakers, and a lot of them that I'm very passionate about. But as I said, sometimes when you're a little kid and you see somebody and they become your hero, Elgin Baylor was really the reason I got interested in the Lakers, and he was so amazing. Even though I was little, I remember pretty well. And so I'm going to say Elgin Baylor, followed by, I guess, Magic Johnson would be number 2.
Okay, this next question is from this is from Richard. Oh gosh, I always don't know how to say your last name, but I'm sorry. You know I love you, Richard. It's from Richard McCallum. He says, does your dad know I'm your daughter's biggest fan? How do you feel about her having fans?
Well, I appreciate that very much. You know, everywhere we go, it seems like, I'm always amazed by this, but a lot of people recognize Hannah, and I'm just the dad, really, so I tag along, but I'm kind of amazed. You'd be surprised at the places we go that I wouldn't expect, you know, to hear anything. And we went to the first Rams football game when they came back to Los Angeles. We walked through the tunnel on our way to the seats, and the next thing I know, there's a section of guys, you know, basically chanting her name, which was sort of one of the first times something like that happened. Another story, I'm an attorney, and so I went to court.
This is actually a really good one. I like this one.
I went to court for an important oral argument in a very contentious case. And I had never met the opposing party before, so I thought I would be polite, and I went over to introduce myself. And he glares at me and he says, I know who you are. And I said, oh, how do you know me? He said, you're Hannah Kulik's dad, right? And I said, yeah, I am. And he said, well, she's a much better writer than you are. So that was my, you know, so stuff like that happens all the time, and I get a kick out of it, to be honest.
Not all the time, sometimes, but it's really cool. I really appreciate all the support. What is something about Hannah that most people might not know?
She's pretty much an open book from all you see on social media, but I would say that she doesn't hate me. She's pretty high maintenance, for those of you who don't know
I'm like not high maintenance at all compared to most people.
She's very particular about what she does, how she does it, when she does it, how she does it. She's, you know, pretty rigid at times about those things, so she's pretty high maintenance, to be honest with you.
I'm not high maintenance. I just love a good routine. I'm a very routine, organized person. I like everything to be like, you know, set up in a certain way.
In other words, she's really high maintenance.
That's not high maintenance. It's just like being organized and like gotta get stuff done. It's gotta be organized and, you know, all that.
In other words, pretty high maintenance. Pretty rigid.
This is a good question. I just remembered, I keep forgetting to say the people's handles who send them in. I'm really sorry if I'm forgetting to say yours. This person's name, there is like no way in the world I will ever be able to pronounce that. How do you say that? Oh, you know what? That is cool. That's actually a combination of Lonzo, Julius Randle, and Kuzma.
Oh, okay.
And then look at the last name was Inkusun.
Yeah. So,
Junior?
Yeah.
Maybe a Clarkson? Is that Clarkson? That's so cool. Okay. His question is, do you think Josh Hart finishes the season as a starting 2 guard? The kid is flying under the radar, in my opinion.
I hope so. I think there's the potential for that. I don't think the Lakers signed KCP for $12 million to have him come off the bench. So I expect KCP is going to be the starting shooting guard when the season begins. But I love Josh Hart. I think a lot of people like Josh Hart. And if he continues to improve the way he's been improving the last year, I think there's a good chance he's going to be the starter before the end of the year.
Okay, this is from, I don't even know how to say this, but it's at Dice Music, and he says, ask his favorite Laker moment. I'll say my favorite Laker moment after real quick, but what's your favorite Laker moment?
You know, the one that comes to mind is that incredible shot that Robert Horry made back in the early 2000s when the Lakers were, trying to win another title. That last second shot everybody knows about, that everybody plays on air every once in a while. I remember watching that game and watching that shot. I actually watched it with my older daughter, and that moment just really stands out for me for some reason.
Mine is Kobe Bryant's last game, for sure. I still watch that. I think I said it on the recent Lakers Nation podcast, but I watch that on YouTube, the highlights at least every couple days. That was just an unbelievable moment. It was the perfect end to an amazing career, and that will always be my favorite Laker moment.
You know, Hannah, I think I have to maybe agree with you.
Yeah.
That was...
You even cried. I cried, and you never cried. You only cried when I went to college. And I only lasted a day anyway before I came home.
I don't think any of us will see the end of a career for a major star like that ever again. It really was something you had to live through to believe.
Next question is from Tony Horn. It's at Vino Bucket. He asked MJ or Kobe for you.
Well, for me, Kobe, of course. I'm a Laker fan. Kobe is a great Laker, so I'm never going to say that Michael Jordan is my favorite player.
Oh, I love this question. This is from John at John BVT2. I don't know if that's the thing, but that's the handle that says. I have one for Dad. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good is Hannah's pasta? My lucky Laker pasta.
Hannah has some hidden talents that people don't know about, one of which...
I don't think cooking's a hidden talent. I think it's pretty obvious. Hannah's Bitchin' Kitchen. It's an awesome... It's a thing.
Hannah is a really, really good cook, and her pasta is very good. And it became almost a joke last year because it seemed like, she went through a period of time where she was eating it all the time. And it was sort of the mid-January to mid-March period when the Lakers were winning a lot of games. And so, I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of people came up with the theory that maybe her pasta had something to do with the fact that the Lakers were winning. I don't know.
It's not a theory. It's an actual, it's a fact,
well,
Dad.
We'll
see.
Fact. Maybe. It certainly seemed like it last season.
You were the one who was like, we can't go out. Hannah has to make her pasta. Are you kidding me?
Well,
my poor mom.
I'm not going to lie. I got pretty excited when the Lakers were winning some games.
Okay, this next question is from Randy. It is at RandyBDA, and he says, if you could pick one... Oh, you'll like this question. If you could pick one player to sign with the Lakers next summer, who would you target first between Durant, Kawhi, and Klay? I'm going to say Klay Thompson just because I'm a huge Klay Thompson fan. I remember the very first interview I ever saw with him when he was a rookie and the Golden State Warriors played against the Lakers and he had this little Dora the Explorer backpack on. I remember I said to you, he's going to be a star. And you were like, Everyone's like, he'll be a good player, I'm sure. I love Klay Thompson. I think he would fit really well for the team, especially because KCP's just on that one-year deal. Shooting guard, just slide right in there. Next year, I think he'd be a great addition, and I just am a big Klay Thompson fan. What about you?
By the way, it is true. Hannah has this annoying habit of being able to identify good young players who end up being great, but nobody else is talking about that much. So.
I got it with Corey Seager, too. Remember we went to the Dodger game, and you're like, no, it's all Doc Peterson. I'm like, no. Have you seen that kid over there?
That is true.
That's the one.
Well, look, if you get a chance to get Kevin Durant on your team, it's pretty hard to say no since he's probably the second best player in basketball. But
he rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, I don't mind that. But I just, first of all, I'd be happy just to see the young core grow because I have a feeling that some of these guys are going to turn into stars. And I like complementary pieces. So I'm going to go with Klay Thompson too. Again, with Kawhi Leonard, nobody's seen him play for the last year. No one knows where his head is at, where he is physically. So, I'm not on the Kawhi Leonard bandwagon at the moment. That's not to say that I won't be next summer. But for now, if I have to answer that question, I'm going to say Klay Thompson too.
Okay, this next question is from Deontay Rose, and he says, can't wait for this. Ask your dad what his all-time starting five is, plus first three guys off the bench in the Showtime era from 2000 till now.
I guess you have to go with Magic and Kobe Bryant at the guards. I think Pau Gasol and James Worthy at forward, and either Kareem or Shaquille O'Neal at center. And then I mentioned a couple other guys. So let's say it's Kareem, then Shaquille would come off the bench, and there's been a lot of great players. I mean, Byron Scott was a great player, and all those guys in the Showtime era were great players. I guess the guys I would eliminate would be Smush Parker and probably Nick Van Exel.
Not Steve Blake?
Steve
what?
Blake, yeah, Steve Blake.
Steve Blake was my favorite player. Okay, the next question is from Ralph Orenza. The question is, do you believe that based on how this Laker team is built, a mid-season blockbuster trade is imminent? What do you think?
I don't think you can answer that question now. To some extent, it depends on how the Lakers are doing at mid-season at the trade deadline. Are they contending? If they are contending, is there a piece or two out there, that might put them over the top? But then again, if they're contending, that means the guys they have now have been doing pretty well. So I'm not predicting a big trade deadline trade this year. I think the Lakers want to try to get guys in free agency so they don't have to give up good young talent or high draft picks in order to get new players. So unless something unusual comes along, and I'm sure there'll be a million rumors that drive all of us crazy, but unless something unusual comes along, I'm not predicting a mid-season trade.
So this next question is from Dean James the Rebel, and he asked, does your pops feel like the Lakers have hindered the youth movement with the additions of veterans who, although talented, can be considered problematic both in and out of the locker room?
I'm worried about it. I am, because I don't want minutes to be taken away from Kuzma, Ingram, Hart, or Ball. I'm very excited about them. I also want to see what the rookies from this year can do. So again, that's my focus, and I'm a little concerned about it. On the other hand, it's a long season. People get injured, and I think this year the Lakers are going to be much better positioned to withstand injuries than they were last year. I mean, when Lonzo Ball went out last year, it was Alex Caruso or Tyler Ennis, and two really nice guys, and I kind of like Caruso. It's kind of fun to watch him a little bit, but not as your starting point guard. So I think we're going to be in a much better position to withstand that kind of thing this year. But I do worry about it. I mean, I want Hart and Kuzma, and I know Ingram's going to get his minutes, but I want Hart and Kuzma to get their minutes this year.
Question.
I have a feeling I'm going to regret this when this is over with.
No!
I'm doing the best I can.
Dad, you're like such a pro. This is from at Nader Nation, and he asks, most proud moment as a father. I've given you a hell of a lot of proud moments. A lot of are you kidding me moments, but a lot of proud ones too.
I mean, to be honest with you, this is kind of sappy and silly. I mean, being a father is the most important thing in my life. It always has been and always will be. So frankly, I have tons of extremely proud moments. I'm very lucky. I have 4 really incredible daughters. Really, you don't know the other ones, but
we kind of know Kristen. She's pretty
know Kristen
cool.
a little bit, but they really are. Each one has been pretty successful in her own right, and I'm really proud of all of them. Very lucky.
What about my national championship?
That is true. Something that you guys might not know is that Hannah spent a number of years as a very, very competitive equestrian. We used to travel all over the country. She would ride horses and compete. She was very good at it, and won a national championship in 2014. That was a very proud moment.
Yeah, graduating college, high school, passing my AP exam even though I wrote an entire essay on a wrong topic.
That is true. Hannah, she had to wite about some war, and she picked the wrong war or got it all messed up and still passed the test.
I was nervous because the other essay was
pretty impressive.
The other essay was to write about like the Motown era, and I was like, oh, please. Let me just pick up my pen and slay y'all with my Motown knowledge for a second. Okay, we're only going to do a few more because I see that this video is getting a little long. So let's do kind of the more like funny questions now. Okay. Just a few. Found this text from my friend. He asked, Jay Christels, he asked Jonathan. Hi, John. He asked, But do you know what a belfie is? You know what a belfie is. I am the belfie queen. So what is a belfie?
I apologize, I don't know what a belfie is.
What do you think it is? If a selfie is a face, like if a selfie, I'm taking a selfie.
In the world for me, I
My
have no
butt.
idea.
It's a butt selfie. You know a belfie? I'm always like, can you move? I need to take a belfie.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't know that, but it makes sense now that I hear it.
Remember I trademarked the word? We're going to trademark it?
Absolutely.
Okay, how does it feel knowing you were Hannah Kulick's dad? How does it feel having a daughter that's so perfect? How perfect am I, Dad? I'm awesome. Just kidding.
We may have a slightly different perception of Hannah than you do, but no, she's very special and different and pretty exciting to be around. And you know, all dads should be as lucky as I am to have her as my daughter, to be perfectly honest with you. So feel pretty cool about it. What else can I say?
I'm awesome until I make you get my Starbucks every morning.
I didn't say that Hannah's...
And put my turkey bacon in the microwave and have my cocoa butter.
Sometimes I'm more of Hannah's personal assistant than I am her father, but nonetheless, I enjoy hanging around her, and she's a lot of fun, and I'm kind of fond of her, to be honest with you.
As long as I have exactly three lemons in my water, no one gets hurt.
That's true.
Okay, next question. Oh, I knew this was going to be a question. I knew it. Okay, this person. Okay,
I'm a little afraid here, but
I knew it. You probably know it too. Okay, how does it feel knowing that Kyle Kuzma is probably going to be your son-in-law one day? How does it feel knowing that guys are always trying to slide into your daughter's DMs? Oh, that's so funny. Kyle Kuzma, I'm not marrying Kyle Kuzma. Let's get that straight first.
Well, you know, as we all know, when Hannah broke up with Jordan Clarkson a couple years ago, it was a little bit traumatic. But she found Kyle Kuzma in the process, and I really like Kyle Kuzma. Honestly, I like just about everything I see from him, everything I hear from him, both on and off the court. So, you know, if she's going to like somebody, I think he's a good guy to like.
What about all the guys that slide in my DMs?
You know...
Do you even know what DMs were, DMs?
I have a vague idea
of what
we
you're explaining this to me. What are DMs? What do they stand for?
I'm not going to embarrass myself. Direct messaging.
Yes! Good job. Okay.
But I really...
My mom thought it was PM.
Other than the name, I don't know much about it. I know Hannah gets a lot of messages that way, but I'm not going to comment because I don't know.
That's so funny. Okay, I knew someone was going to ask about Kuzma. I knew it. Okay, the next question is... Oh, this is funny too. Do you read your daughter's comments on her articles and or posts? And if so, what do you think about them?
Sometimes I do.
What do you mean sometimes you do? Hold on. He reads every single comment, more so than I do, I think, sometimes.
I do read more than
Hannah does,
yeah, and I get a laugh out of it. I mean, if you're going to be on the internet, you have to get ready for the fact that some people are going to love you and some people are going to hate you, and that's the way it's going to be, and it's never going to change. And I actually laugh at some of the guys. There's really only one or two people who are constantly criticizing Hannah, and it's kind of funny, actually, because they still seem to read her stuff awfully carefully.
They're like the first people to read my stuff or watch my videos or anything.
Yeah, they're the first people to comment, and they usually comment like 10 times per post.
Okay, this is another really good question. And he asked, do you think that Hannah should train Brandon Ingram? I personally think she's a beast, and she could really help him pack on some size. What do you think?
Well,
that's actually the best question of this thing.
When I do look at the comments on Hannah's articles, that's one that I see a lot, and that's my favorite comment, actually. Because, yes, that's what I think would be hilarious. For those of you who don't know, Hannah is a very, very serious trainer. She goes to the gym 6 days a week. She's very serious about health and nutrition. And I would love to see that. I think it would be hilarious, and I think she'd do a heck of a job. Because he still looks pretty skinny to me this summer. I know people are saying, well, look, he's kind of bulked up a little bit. He still looks awfully skinny to me.
Alrighty, everyone, so that is going to conclude this little father-daughter Q&A. Dad, thank you so much for taking the time out.
It was definitely interesting. I'm not sure that we'll be doing this again, but I hope somebody enjoys it out there. And I always like talking about the Lakers, so thanks for letting me talk on and on.
Of course, let's go to Starbucks now. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, a double thumbs up for my dad for taking the morning off and helping me out with this video. Subscribe to my channel for more fun videos, and always you can comment down below and let me know if there's a specific video that you want to watch. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys!